Back home, 3 mates from Ballarat are recovering in hospital from a fishing trip which they'll never forget. They've told how they spent 20 hours in the water after their boat sank in rough seas. The trio left a boat ramp in East Geelong early yesterday morning and got into trouble within a few hours. They eventually came ashore this morning about 10 kilometres along the coast.
Sunburnt, dehydrated and exhausted, and relieved their ordeal is over.
Yeah, I think once it all wears off and we're back to normal operations, I think it'll be a good story to tell.
The trio set off in their boat on Saturday morning for a day of fishing near Geelong.
We arrived down there about 8 o'clock in the morning, and Cryo Bay was as smooth as glass.
But after a few hours, the weather turned nasty. Big waves were crashing over them, and before they knew it, the boat was sinking, taking the emergency flares with it. The men were left floating in rough seas in their life jackets.
You were basically breathing, drinking seawater, which not nice experiences.
For 20 hours, they huddled together to keep warm. They could see rescue helicopters trying to find them, but couldn't attract their attention. The current eventually swept them to a beach several kilometres away. The 3 men finally scrambled to shore about 7 o'clock this morning and knocked on the first door they could find, waking up a somewhat surprised Wood family. The family initially mistook the men for burglars.
And suddenly Oliver comes down and says, Dad, there's 3 wet guys outside who reckon their boat's capsized and they've just swum ashore.
They all had a shower and then just sat down and waited for the ambulance to come.
Now recovering in hospital from minor injuries and hypothermia, the men say they always knew they'd survive. They kept focus by thinking of their families.
A wife and 2 young kids. For one, also helping out my mates here to make sure that we all got back alive.
All agree it'll be some time before they're back out on the water. Frances Bell, ABC News, Geelong.